All right, welcome everybody to the first, hopefully not the last, episode of The Average Gamers. I'm Tim, and I'm joined here by two of my good friends, people I've been gaming with for many years, Josh and Brenden.
What's up?
Hello.
I think, so see, we all, at least Brenden, we met you back in, what was it, 2007, I believe?
7 or 8, something like that,
I
yeah.
don't know. Wasn't it Halo 3?
No.
I thought it was Skate. The
Was
first
it
Skate.
Skate / Call of Duty.
Was it Skate / Call of Duty 4?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't even remember like how it even got started. It's just like one day.
No, it was all you. I never stumbled upon them. It was because I joined you in the games we were playing.
Well, I met Chris on Skate one night.
Right.
And then we were playing for a long time, and then we added each other, and then found out that we played Call of Duty too, and then he knew Tim,
Right.
and then obviously Tim led me to you, etc.
Because I didn't pick up Call of Duty until Brian came into the picture, and he convinced me to get Call of Duty.
Oh yeah.
And maybe it was you and Chris also trying to convince me to get it. But I remember
I don't think I did.
I remember Brian having an influence. And then somewhere Josh just showed up. We got him. I talked him into getting him an Xbox.
Well, Josh piggybacked on you.
Yeah.
You convinced me to get the Xbox 360. You convinced me to get Call of Duty because I had never played any Call of Duty before that.
Yeah.
I think the only shooter I ever touched before that randomly was a Medal of Honor game.
Yeah.
I had no idea about Call of Duty games or anything, and then you convinced me to get that because you had it.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, you got to play this with us." And then
So
that's
then
when I met. That's when I would, obviously I already knew Brenden a little bit, but that's when we all started, like with John, Chris, and then we met, little child prodigy Tommy.
Yo.
That's what we're calling him.
We'll call him something. RJ would pop in every now and then.
RJ was later down the road, though.
Yeah, and then
I mean, he piggybacked off of Tom, though.
How did Dylan show up? I don't remember.
I honestly don't remember how Dylan showed up to the picture.
I don't remember either.
He just showed up one day.
I remember never really knowing his voice because he never talked.
Oh yeah, he was super quiet for a long time.
He's still quiet today.
No, not really.
He can be. It depends.
Say, Josh, when we're in parties and we're playing like Warzone or something, he doesn't really talk unless it's just me, you, and him.
I mean,
Yeah.
He's more comfortable around Brenden. I can comfortably say that.
Well, yeah.
Confidently say that.
I think him
and I we're still playing the same games a lot after a lot of people stopped.
Or you abandon us.
Whoa! I didn't abandon shit.
To be fair, we're still playing Call of Duty, and you left us, I don't know, 10 years ago?
But I left forever ago. Call of Duty was not the Rift, and it's not my fault. Call of Duty's a fucking dumpster fire. See, I already lost it. It doesn't matter.
Well, that's fine.
Your
Know,
fault.
and we're gonna get into Call of Duty later.
Hey, everything went to shit when Tim decided to go into the armed forces. That's what happened.
No, because I was still able to play quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, when he was home, he was still playing.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually, just kind of everybody grew up and did a lot of different stuff.
Remember, Chris and John were like, "Oh, we need to grow up and stop playing video games," and then they disappeared.
They definitely abandoned us. Life happened, but
sure.
we're all still playing for the most part. I mean, I usually get a few hours a weekend to play.
Yeah,
at least on my Xbox. Otherwise,
more so it's understandable with relationships. I mean, I remember when I was in mine, everybody gave me such shit because you
were never on.
Well, because you were wrapped around her finger and she treated you like garbage.
It's okay, Josh. This is a safe space.
I mean, to an extent, that was true in certain areas.
Yeah.
But I didn't help the case because I made the relationship hard as well. So
Yeah,
a lot
well,
of that, a
mistakes
lot
were
of
made.
those issues stemmed from my choices as well.
That's fair. We're still gonna blame her.
She can't defend herself.
Nope, she's not here to defend it.
Yeah, bros before hoes. I understand.
Well, yeah. So I mean, yeah. At least me and Josh have definitely had our times where we've kind of ghosted, but
I
That's
mean,
that's that's where it fell off for me. That's where I stopped talking to Brenden a lot and
yeah,
everybody because my relationship was,
I mean, that was the thing is like, that's one of the reasons why Dylan and I grew a lot closer is because basically everybody else got left or became like part time,
right,
and Dylan and I were still on like almost every day.
yeah.
a single man in a single in a
I mean, it is
single
what it is. I'm not arguing that. Like,
No,
we just
yeah. I
had a
think
similar schedule and we all just kept getting on. So
I think what happened for me because I know like after I joined the Air Force and then got to my first base, I know I was playing quite a bit back then, and then I met my then ex-wife and or my then girlfriend, now ex-wife, and she played, so it was no big deal for me to play. But I know towards like the end of our marriage is when I stopped playing as much.
oh
And
yeah,
I
because shit got strange.
and I didn't really pick it back up, at least Xbox wise, pick it back up until what
Well, you
3 years
went through
ago.
stuff and you ended up.
Yeah,
Remember, you ended up like with like where your living situation was like hard, and
yeah,
you ended up just selling what you sold your Xbox, right? And
yeah. I
I don't know,
ended
you
up
kind of you went off you went off the
well.
grid for a little bit.
I sold my Xbox for other stuff, but it wasn't because I was having a hard time. Um, but no, so it's good to be back. I think.
How did you come back though?
How well?
we
So
bought an
I've
Xbox.
been. Yeah, I bought an Xbox, Josh.
I
That's how you come back. No,
No, but I mean, like, what was I forget what the driving force was? Why you what you were trying to come back and do?
So I never really quit gaming. I went to PC and I had
Yeah, I
I built
remember
my
that.
computer and I was playing on that and I was actually really big into that and we were talking about uh, buying the boys an Xbox for Christmas. So we got them one and that was like right after Red Dead 2 came out. And so that was like cool. Well, we're gonna get them an Xbox. I'm gonna get me Red Dead 2 and I'm gonna play that.
Yeah, and then that's when you kind of started playing PUBG with Maya,
Yep.
and you were tasking me if you should play this with me, and I was like, okay, because I've played it before,
Yeah.
and we dabbled in that, and then
Yeah, I
that's
played PUBG a little bit, and then I wouldn't say it fell off. There just really wasn't any titles
it.
out back then that I really cared to play.
I don't think we really had a dedication to even play PUBG. We just kind
Yeah,
of played it to play it.
yeah. But no, I remember for me like video games started for me back when I don't even remember what age, but I remember like I know it's the same with you, Josh and Brendan. I'm sure your story is very similar. Starting out on N64, playing all the Mario titles, Super Mario or not Super Mario, but Mario 64 and what was it? Mario Kart was on it. Playing all
And Mario
that.
Kart, Smash Bros,
Yep,
Star Wars
Smash Bros.
games.
Definitely played the Star Wars games. I don't Duck Hunter, but that's on the Super Nintendo.
Duck Hunt's the original NES.
Was it
Yeah.
NES?
Yep,
I'm
the
getting
original Nintendo Entertainment System.
I remember playing on the original. I
yeah,
told Tim this earlier. I mean, but I don't think that's where it started for me. I remember playing on it. I remember like specifically liking Duck Hunt, but I was never trying to play it all the time. It wasn't until like the N64 came out. My parents got it.
yeah.
Is where I saw like 3D. Mario 64, and I was like, whoa! And that's when I think I genuinely actually really tried to play video games
Well, and
more often.
correct me if I'm wrong, but like games back on like the NES and the Super Nintendo were more arcade style, so there wasn't really
Oh
much
yeah.
depth to the game.
Yes and no. I mean, it
There's
depended on the game, and uh, I mean, some of them were definitely just transfers from the arcade, and
yeah,
part of that was part of it was one, simplicity, don't make a game twice. Two,
right,
like that was the easier way to do it, and it also ended up helping games have longevity to a point, because like
Right.
I mean, the first game to ever have a save function was like the original Legend of Zelda, I think.
Was it that? I
Yeah.
remember playing that a little bit.
So like, you play Super Mario Brothers, you
Yeah.
can't save once you get to world, 4, 3 or whatever. Like you have to
Right.
start the whole thing over. You have to beat it one go.
Yeah.
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 Or leave your console on and turn your TV off.
Yeah, because that's great also.
I mean, I'm not saying that it
I,
is, but I definitely did it.
oh yeah, I've definitely done it. And then as time progressed, like I remember like Tony Hawk Pro Skaters. You guys remember those, the original ones?
Oh
Hell yeah.
yes.
Oh man!
Yes.
And then my first
Defined late
introduction,
90s gaming.
right? My first introduction to the Grand Theft Auto series was GTA 3.
Again, also most people's.
Dude,
Yep,
I
yep.
think I was in seventh grade when I first played GTA 3, and I played it at a friend's house because before before that game, I had no idea there was mature games,
Right.
and I remember playing it, and I was like, oh, I really want this, and then eventually for Christmas I got a PlayStation 2, and then I remember asking for that game, and then I remember it was the first time my mom discovered rated M for mature games, and then I remember she was asking all these questions, and I almost didn't get it because like the GameStop person was like, or wherever the hell we were, was like, oh yeah, there's nudity or just graphic content, don't remember, but I just remember being like, oh, I'm probably not gonna get it, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
But
remember nudity in
I
3.
don't remember nudity. It was
No,
with the killing the
it was
people,
in
running
yeah.
people over, and
Yeah.
I mean, it
that
had
stuff.
strippers and
Yeah.
hookers, but there
Yeah.
was no
Oh yeah,
nudity.
yeah,
You could
yeah,
have
yeah,
sex
No
with
nudity in
the
3.
hookers.
yeah.
You
In
see the car
cars and
shake back
stuff.
and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like you, Josh. I played that game for the first time at a friend's house, and I mean, we
I
would stay up
remember
late.
being a young kid. I remember specifically spending so much time just trying to like bang all the hookers as a kid.
Of
Well,
course you
yeah.
would.
Like, I mean, it's just your natural curiosity. When you just sit there and you're just like all staring at the TV all intense,
Well, I
and you're
mean,
just like, whoa.
it had never really been done before,
No.
No,
like that
no.
in a big open world.
Um,
I mean, yeah, you couldn't see anything, but like,
yeah.
still, it was such a
It,
unique thing.
Yeah.
Like, there were games that tackled it before, that tackled adult themes, stuff like that before, but
it was never like
not
that
quite like that.
apparent.
I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't. There was
Hmm.
definitely nudity in games beforehand and stuff like that, and definitely sexual stuff. I mean, Jesus Christ, the Leisure Suit Larry games go back into like the 80s,
Okay.
maybe the early 90s, and those are the entire point of those games is to get your main character Larry laid. It's the
Oh
entire
yeah,
point of the
I
game.
remember. I remember those.
Yeah, it existed before, but like having it one fully 3D and two like I mean maybe the illicitness of it too, of actually engaging a hooker and paying them because you got charged whatever they got out of the car.
Right. um, and then yeah, I remember like using the cheat codes in that game, getting the
oh,
tanks and the 5
oh,
stars, and
Nobody played GTA 3 without cheats.
I don't
Nobody.
think
dude,
anybody's ever played
I
GTA title without
well
cheating.
remember
I mean five
the
and
dodo
four.
cheat for the cars where you could temporarily get the cars to fly
Yep.
Yep. And the bouncing one where
to
you
get
make
over the
them.
broken bridge.
Yep. I mean, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, you didn't use cheats because then was it
Well,
you would stop at a certain
Vice
point?
wasn't Vice City the sequel after
Yeah.
3?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it went
3
to
Vice
Vice
City,
City.
San Andreas.
Uh, I think Vice City was the first one that I owned. I don't think I ever owned
Yeah,
3
well,
until
I think
later.
Vice City was, I think, one of the first sequels to a game where I was like, I wanted really bad.
Yeah.
Because I had played GTA 3 so much to where, and then Vice City came out, and I was like, I gotta get that.
Right. Um, I
And
remember.
then I think, didn't Vice City introduce like properties and stuff like that?
Yep.
Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like,
It wasn't
bits and
super.
pieces, but.
it wasn't super in depth. There was like what 10 properties throughout the map that you could buy, and it would make you money.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably a little bit more than that, but San Andreas really expanded on that concept.
Yeah,
Because
San
that became
Andreas.
like your save points.
You know, I don't think in San Andreas I ever successfully like got like there. I remember like the property system with the owning like that casino,
Yep, the casino.
and like there were some cool houses, and I don't think I ever fully completed getting certain properties. But
I
I
mean,
remember the vastness.
some of them just acted as save points. Like
Yeah, yeah. I'd
you'd
love to.
literally
Yeah,
buy it and it'd just be like
yeah.
save.
They
That was like the game I played back when that came out. What was that? 2003 or four?
I do.
Maybe two. 2002.
I
No, no,
feel
no, no,
like
no. GTA San Andreas was 2000 and had to have been 4.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but what that was mostly, I feel like that was GTA's flagship like game that like really pushed the Rockstar.
Yeah, GTA 3 is what landed Rockstar.
I mean,
Like,
like as I remember when San Andreas came out, I just remember like like all of a sudden, a bunch of my cousins were playing it, and we were like over at my grandparents playing it. I just remember that's at least for me in my mind, I felt like that game blew up.
It
Or
2004 is
like I
when it came
remember,
out.
like everybody, putting in the cheat code for the jetpack and flying around the map, and
Yeah,
I mean, GTA had 3 games before GTA 3,
yeah.
and they were not good.
No, because they were like that.
They were
I don't
top
even.
down
Yep.
and like really, really hard to control, and it was a pain to get around. They didn't have like the map system was just awful if it
I,
existed at all. It's been forever since I touched them, but like
right.
Have they,
they
were
were
they
garbage.
popular enough to where like
Yeah,
it didn't cause the company to like fucking
I mean
lose
it
out?
was moderately successful. It didn't
Hmm.
like it didn't blow up. You know, it wasn't like GTA 3 because again, GTA 3 revolutionized gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Period. Like there is like you can point to like probably 80% of games now and draw a direct thread back to GTA 3. Like it's not hard.
Right.
Um, and then Vice City and San Andreas were them essentially just taking what they had in GTA 3 and sharpening it to a fine edge.
Expanding on it.
Yeah.
They definitely
And
built off of what they had from three.
oh yeah, because I mean again in 3 still I mean it had a story, but
Yeah.
it wasn't that great and it still did the whole silent protagonist thing.
Yep.
yeah, your guy's silent.
And he couldn't
uh,
swim.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's I mean it was still huge for the time, but it just didn't it was essentially the test to prove that this game could work and could be successful and interesting and da da da. And that's
Yeah.
when GTA 3 is definitely when it blew up. And then Vice City made it even better by one making Vice City because Miami in the 80s was just the Wild West
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
And then yeah, San Andreas just upping the time period and stuff. 90s gangland.
Yep. 90s, and they added a lot more features into it.
Well, it was the variety of cars too. That's when they kind of built on a little bit more with how
Yeah.
many cars were in the game too as
And you
well.
couldn't customize cars until you got to San Andreas.
right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Because they always had the I don't remember what they were
Yeah.
called, but they had
You're
those
right,
little
you're right.
quick places, and all
Yeah,
it would
the
do is
spray
just change.
shops.
Yep,
Yeah.
the spray paint, paint sprays, or I think is what they were called.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
Um, so no, it wasn't until San Andreas they really brought in car customization. And what's even nice is it wasn't
Well,
even linear. They brought in like all sorts of car customization.
wasn't it before that is when they just had special hidden cars sporadically hidden throughout the map before
Did
they
they?
had all the customization stuff?
Was that in Vice
Was that
City and
before
three?
that? Or was that after the
No,
customization?
customization. I mean, it definitely wasn't in 3. God, no.
No, no, but
Um,
the hidden cars, the Easter egg
The
cars.
hidden cars, like
oh.
Easter egg cars that are like super cars, like really fast.
Yes, kind of, kind of. I
I mean, they
remember.
definitely had. Well, yeah, no, because they had the auto dealership. that you could break into, and there was always
That's
a banshee
right.
in there.
The
And then-
Banshee. Yep.
I want to say it was 3. There was a certain place in the map that you would go to, and you could get the FBI Washington.
Yep.
Yeah.
so.
Otherwise, the
there's
only other way to
headquarters.
get it was, or it would be FIB.
FIB.
The only other way to do it was to get the 5 stars and then try and steal one from one of them.
Yeah.
I don't remember what was in Vice City.
God, I really don't remember as much as I try to pretend I would, but
Yeah.
I distinctly, for some reason, like, I remember Vice City, I do, but I
Yep.
distinctly remember 3 and San Andreas way more.
San Andreas,
Just played more.
San Andreas, I probably have like the most hours in aside from GTA 5.
Same. Out of
I-
all the GTAs I've ever played, San Andreas probably has most of my time as well.
I'd love to see like an hour log from back in 2004, 5, 6 of how
Could you
much time
imagine?
I put into this. Because like when I'd get home, I'd do my homework. Sometimes I'd do my homework, and I'd jump right onto San Andreas.
I mean, not to change subjects, but I think
Yeah.
the one game in my gaming career, as you know, playing video games, that probably has the most logged in time is Fable 2. Out of any game I've replayed so many times throughout my life,
Yeah,
I would love to see the log time for that.
I mean, if we're gonna go with that, for me, I think it'd probably be, and we'll say not including my Steam games, not anything that I play on PC, strictly console. It would be Skyrim. I probably have the most hours in Skyrim aside.
I don't think I ever gave that game as much time as I should have. I think about it, and I feel like like back when it first came out, I remember mostly playing it and being in a party with Brenden. But
Yeah.
I remember me compared to him. I know he anally probed that game, and I don't think
I mean,
I
that's
don't
how I play games.
I
Yes.
don't think I ever really found everything there was to find in Skyrim.
I
I
haven't.
mean, I put God knows how many hours into that. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I would argue that I still didn't find everything, but that's the thing is like, I do get pretty. I mean, it kind of depends on the game. There are some games where I don't feel it's rewarding enough to do that.
Right.
But Skyrim is definitely proof of that game where that exploration and going around feels, one, rewarding, and two, worth it. Like it rewards you, one, just in the exploration because you're seeing some cool new place or whatever, and two, there's usually some pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. So
Well, there was usually a purpose to the most of the stuff you'd run into, from what
Yeah.
I remember. I remember the first time when I was playing Skyrim that I ran into something that was random and not quest that I already had in my inventory, or whatever,
Right.
was the Sunbreak, the sword, the Sunbreaker. I remember stumbling upon that quest, and that was the first time I was like, "Whoa, what?"
I don't think I remember that one.
That's one of the Daedric God quests, isn't it? That you have to
No,
take that
oh,
somewhere?
maybe I'm calling it. You know that? So it's a sword. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I'd have to either
It's
see it or
because
play it again.
there was that night. I don't know if it was a nightingale sword. Remember, there was like 2 versions. There was like the one that was specific to like the dark, and then that one that had like the power of the sun within like the hilt.
I don't remember that.
I don't know why I remember that. I think, like I said, I remember it most because it was the first time I stumbled upon like it was a random quest, like something not even, tied into like the main campaign or whatnot.
Which I've never even beat the main campaign. I always
I
spent,
don't understand how people have not finished that campaign.
Because
if
I
you
would-
do it, it takes like 3 hours. It's so short.
The problem is that
Like-
as soon as I get out on my own, I just start doing side quests.
Well,
Which I totally understand. I really
Yeah.
do. But one, the game continues after you finish it, and again, if you
It does.
actually just straight walk through the main campaign, it is one of the shortest campaigns you'll ever play. It's so obscenely short.
I guess Skyrim is I think the reason why most people don't complete Skyrim is because it gives you the option to more so explore than do your main objectives. So most people who aren't like forced to, forcefully guided to do something,
Yeah.
I mean, that
they
is
fall they fall off the wagon.
So like
there's definitely some truth in that.
the last playthrough of it that I was trying to do back when I was deployed 2 years ago is I was trying to build my character up enough that I'd have like dragon bone armor or like daedric armor or something. So I was doing all the
Yeah.
side stuff to build up my character and then go through and play the story mode. I
You
didn't
if
get
you
that far.
haven't played it, dude, if there's any justice you could do for yourself on is actually go back and play it
I really
and
should.
finish. Dude, most of the content that when it comes to main story DLC, like with the DLC and the main game's campaign, like it's actually pretty good.
I mean, it is a phenomenal game, and we're definitely going to probably spend an episode really talking about that game in depth because there's so many layers to it, so much you can do to it. For me, it was like one of the first games that I got into that made mining fun.
Yeah, there was some mining in it, not much, but
There wasn't a lot. It was enough to like get you hooked, but not enough like where you just spend hours upon hours just mining.
I felt like that game was sprinkled with so much random stuff. It wasn't tedious, but it was like gratifying to like always find something different to
Well,
do.
yeah, you'd be working on your house, and all of a sudden a fucking dragon comes out of nowhere, and you got to fight a dragon while you're trying to
Well,
build your house.
that was one of the first DLCs was the housing,
That was
right?
the
That was, I think it was,
second actually.
what would have been the first? I thought that one was the first, and
I think
then the
I think first
Vanguard
one was Dawn Guard. I
or
think it was
Dawn
Dawn
Guard.
Guard was first.
With the yeah with the vampires.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think it was Dawn Guard, Hearth and Home, and then yeah.
And it was the houses one, I think,
Yep.
right? It had
And
to have been.
those were the only two DLCs.
No, there was a third.
There
Which
was the
one?
third. I can't remember the name of it. I mean,
I
you
can't
go to
remember either.
Soulstime, you go back to Morrowind, but I forget what the actual name of the DLC was called.
Yeah, well, you discover that those little what do you call it? Those golem type little things that you find in like the caves of like the dwarven areas and stuff like that were
Oh, I remember what you're
they
talking about.
they were originally those what
You're not talking
elves?
like the little gnome things, right?
No, like those little goblin looking guys that look like from what's his name? Golem from Lord of the Rings. Remember
Yep.
those
Yep.
little
The
creepy
Palmer?
things? Yes, the
Yeah.
Falmers. Yeah, well, because like in that third DLC, you find out that they originally were elves that were driven underground by Nords,
Probably.
right?
You find that out earlier. That's just general lore. I don't think you find that
Oh,
out
well, I
in
think that's
Dragonborn.
when I found out. I didn't. I mean, I never knew anything about them
Well, that's the
until that
whole thing.
DLC.
Everything in, well, maybe not everything, but like the main races of Skyrim, you're either man or mer, and if you're man, it means you're, human based, i.e., Nords,
Yeah.
Imperials, or you're
Yeah.
mer, which are elves. So if it's Falmer, it's an elf. If it's Dwemer, which is I think I forget which ones are Dwemers, but like you're basically based on an elf or a human. I mean, aside from the weird ones like Khajiit and stuff, but
But
like,
Skyrim though, dude, I swear that was, I think, the first game that blew my mind. Like with its scope and the dragons just randomly slamming on the ground in front of you and scaring the shit out of you. I mean,
Yeah.
like that game definitely left its imprint.
So the three DLCs was the Dawnguard, Dragonborn, and Hearthfire.
yeah,
Yes.
Dragonborn's the one we were
Dawnguard.
trying to think of. I can't
That's
here.
where you go back to the Souls time.
Wait.
Yep.
Is Dragonborn the very last one?
Yeah, that's the one where you
Okay.
go to Morrowind and Souls time.
Yep.
There's this like giant mushrooms and shit.
Oh, that's right.
It's
Yep.
where the is that right? Maybe that is right. The Dwemer Dark Elves. Where the Dark
Yeah,
Elves
the
are
Dark
from.
Elves.
Yeah. Let's see what it says. But I know that it's dominated by another Dragonborn, a person just like the protagonist with
Yeah,
the
it's
dragon
some
blood.
random dude that
Yeah.
that has the dragon blood.
Um, oh yeah, that's where you get to learn to ride the dragon.
Well, I mean, like
Yeah, that was
I
pretty cool to
know,
see.
Yeah.
what is it? Elder Scrolls Online definitely has a lot more lore into that stuff. Like
Well, that's because Elder Scrolls Online is now stupid huge at this point. The game is
it's
ridiculously large
it's
with all its
I
areas.
what 2 months ago I finally beat like the main campaign for it. It was pretty good,
Yeah.
but dude, that game is the grindiest thing for sure.
I mean, it's an MMO. It's
Yeah.
what you
That's
do.
what it's supposed to be.
It's an MMO. You put your face against the grindstone and press on that wheel, baby.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, I think me progressing through that was because this this chick I met had given me a bunch of gear that like kind of like give me like a what do you call it, a head start essentially, and it allowed
Yeah.
me to like just start blowing through the main campaign because it was such high level gear or high equipped gear, just with a bunch of like great perks or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, when she was trying to teach me, I'm just like, oh, I was like, I don't know if I could really grind this out, and especially that I don't know a lot of people who play it. So for me, games that are massively online like that, I need people to play with.
Oh
Otherwise,
yeah,
I I
absolutely.
I I I, I have a hard time staying in the game itself.
It's yeah, because I initially played it when it first came out, and I
I
don't
did too. It was so bad. It was so bad though.
I don't think it was bad. It's just for me it was hard
It
to grab
was
my attention.
it was a resounding meh.
It was for me. What well, see, like at least for me, why I say it was bad was I go from playing Skyrim, all
Yep.
this like lore and all these people talking and bugging you and hilariousness. You when that game first came out, no one talked. It was the most quiet game, and I'm because I mean obviously I was comparing it to Skyrim, but I'm just like, dude, this is so boring.
Right.
It was
And
such copy and paste because like you go to someone, you talk to them, the most basic dialogue, like the
yeah,
most
there were
basic lifeless dialogue, and it was just small dialogue too, and they're just like, oh, go do this, and you
Well,
literally it
again,
was
I mean that's what an MMO is. They know
yeah.
people aren't really reading that stuff. Like they typically do not put a lot of effort into that stuff because they know most people are just skipping it so that they know they have to go, kill
Yep.
10 turtles or whatever the hell.
but now
Right.
though now
I mean, the game
there
has gotten a lot better.
it has so much dialogue and oh, like the NPCs throughout the world have conversations with each other now, so
Mhm.
they've definitely from how it released to where it is now, it's night and day
Did they
I
keep
mean,
the
for
yeah.
sure.
aspect of like what Skyrim has when you kill somebody in the game? They're gone forever. They don't come back.
But
I don't
no,
know.
because how could you pull that off in an MMO?
Yeah, I guess.
You kill one store clerk, and then nobody gets to use him on the rest of your server for the rest of existence.
Well, yeah, I guess because it'd be kind of server based. It wouldn't necessarily be on the client. You just don't get to use that store for the
I
rest
mean,
of
but
its
if it affects
existence.
the whole server, that would ruin everything.
It'd be pretty funny
You
though.
no, humanity cannot be trusted in that situation. You know that somebody would have done it immediately and gone around and killed every store clerk in the entirety of Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, you could
Somebody
be in
would
the
have
middle of
made that
doing your
their
mission.
personal mission
Oh yeah,
to
absolutely.
do that, and then just tank the server because it wouldn't be viable anymore.
No,
Yeah.
and of course, there's not like a billion servers. You're kind of stuck between
Yeah.
they only have a specific amount. Man, that would be hilarious. So
Seriously. Yeah, and on the topic of like, dialogue and stuff, you guys see that freaking what is it? Starfield has what was it like 500 to 800. Oh, I'm spacing so hard. Dialogues I have to look it back up. Brandon, maybe you know what I'm talking about where it's
I
it's
thought
di-
something about it. It's just gonna have a crazy amount of it. Like it's
yeah, it's didn't Skyrim kind of like hold the record in the Elder Scrolls games
this as far
for
as Elder Scrolls, yeah, but
yeah.
that's
Was Fallout? How was its dialogue compared to Skyrim?
in Fallout 4.
Yeah,
I mean, it was better.
it was better.
There was less repetitive stuff, but
Well,
like it was
because
still limited.
I saw one thing because what they posted that they had like so many actors with different to
Yeah,
voice
this
different
yeah,
characters.
that was one of the biggest complaints about Skyrim. And in Fallout, they did do a much better job. You run into less people who sound the same. Like, it
Yeah.
happens way less frequently. Whereas in
Yeah.
Skyrim, you can basically walk across the street.
But I mean, it was 2011 when that game
11,
came
yeah.
out. Um,
And they did what they could do. Like,
yeah,
even
absolutely.
then, like that was still a minor complaint about that game. Like,
I had no complaints about that. I don't know that I
I
have a complaint about that game.
neither did I. I found hilarity in it.
Yeah,
I found hilarity that I would find some like this average Joe schmo, this white dude over here,
yeah,
and I'm like, all of a sudden he has some burlesque weird ass voice that I
right,
heard on some bigger like buff guy. I'm just like,
right.
wait, what?
Some of the voices just did not match at all.
Yeah, I'm
I
just like,
mean,
wait, what?
that was probably one of the first like memeable games, honestly. Now
Yep.
that I think
Hmm.
about it.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, Jesus Christ, I mean, used to be an adventure like you until I took an arrow in the knee, like that didn't get played to death after
Yeah,
that. Like,
And
dude.
it's still
Oh
used to
god,
today,
oh yeah.
it
10 years
is.
later.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, again, that game was a landmark for sure.
Absolutely. At least for me, in my opinion, it changed gaming for me.
Oh no, I mean, it changed gaming, period. I
Yeah.
I
mean,
the that arrow in the knee thing. I think the when I felt like I saw its peak was when Minecraft came out with that Skyrim character pack with that the guy with the arrow in his knee.
Yeah.
God, I laughed so hard at that.
Uh, so what titles are you playing today, Brendan? What are you playing
uh,
here recently?
right now, I am playing Persona 5 Royal.
What's that?
Uh, it is a expanded edition of Persona 5.
Hmm.
Um, I guess, I mean, in a way, I guess you would call it like, a Game of the Year edition or, you
Okay.
know, director's cut, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, because I'm not typically a JRPG guy, but I just heard such tremendous things about Persona
Yeah.
that I figured I would try it. I've had it for a while now, but I finally just decided to pick it up a couple weeks ago, and I'm really enjoying it, which is very rare for me. I don't play JRPGs typically. Like I like ugh, the shit bores the crap out. Well, like it's to be fair, what it is typically like turn-based battle RPGs. So like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Final Fantasy like 10 and
Oh,
before,
Yeah.
or
yeah.
like Dragon Quest still is. I even tried Dragon Quest 11 because I also heard it was amazing,
Yeah.
and I tried it and I played it and I got like 10 hours into it and I'm just like I can't keep doing this. Like this is just tedious and I
Yeah.
was not enjoying it. Game's gorgeous. I was into the story more or less. The voice acting was fine,
Yeah.
but I just could not keep grinding against that combat system. It just drove me nuts.
Yeah.
But Persona has this extra layer and stuff on top of it where you can kind of like, I mean, like enemies have weaknesses, and so you can knock them down, and then if you knock all of them down, you can do like this big hit KO thing. You can like, yeah, it's got all these extra layers on top of that turn-based battle system
Yeah.
that it makes it engaging enough, whereas it feels like I'm not just sleepwalking through a battle.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like goddamn, I'm 33 hours into it, and I'm not even close to done. Not even close.
Jeez, that's nuts. Is that on?
It's it's only on PS4.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There's rumors that it might be coming to PC because they released it's published by Sega
Okay.
and developed by Atlas.
Okay.
And they recently put out Persona 4 Golden, which again was like the expanded edition of Persona 4. They put
Yeah.
that on Steam and it apparently did gangbusters for them.
Hmm.
So then they're like, maybe we should port more of our games to PC. There's apparently a market for this, which,
Of
no
course.
shit. But But yeah, that's what I mean. It's very story heavy. It's very anime. Like
Okay.
it is basically playing through a very long Japanese anime. But it's very good. Like it's got great characters. It's fun. It's engaging. It's gorgeous. Jesus Christ.
Oh, good. We'll definitely have to get into another time about porting games over to PC and what that brings for people.
True.
So I see you on Xbox every now and then. Is there anything you're playing on there?
Not at the moment, just because we're going into fall/winter, and I know
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be on my Xbox a lot with. Uh, I mean, especially once like Forza Horizon comes out,
Yeah.
Forza Horizon 5,
Yep.
and
Oh,
Halo.
yeah. I woke up like Tim, like I told you.
Yeah.
I got him the beta code for Halo Infinite, and I what? God, how long has it been since we played a Halo game together, Brandon? I don't even know, but
I mean, we played Halo 5 a little bit together, but not much because Halo 5 was jank.
hey, well, I don't think Tim ever got in on Halo. We could never get him to play it with us, but dude, I tell you
He
what,
he played one of them.
I
He
think
might have played
Halo
Reach.
3.
I
Maybe
think it was Halo
Reach.
3. I don't know if he played Reach. Maybe he did.
Um,
I don't remember.
and then
I
Brendan,
don't know.
you got a PC, right?
hmm
What do you and you're not playing anything on that either? You're just focused on.
I I tend to I try to play like one game at a time
Okay.
because the
So you
last
don't.
time I tried to juggle multiple games, it did not go well.
I have the worst time with that. My back catalog sucks right now.
Same.
Oh, dude, I guarantee you, I have probably doubled both your back catalogs easily. Both your back
Dude,
Probably.
catalogs combined.
I
You're
tried.
talking
Probably.
about a man who has a PC, a PS4, an Xbox
Yeah.
Series X, and a Switch. I guarantee you, my back catalog is bigger than
Dude.
yours.
Yeah.
I do it to myself, and I know that, but it doesn't
Yeah.
stop me. Damn it.
Yeah.
What, you only recently played Dying Light.
Uh, I mean, that was a couple of years ago, but I mean, it was definitely well after the
Wasn't
game came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because it was just
Because
last
that
year I
game came
think
out
you
like
were playing it.
2013 or 14, I think.
Right.
Around maybe 2015, something like that. And yeah, I just played it like a couple of years ago.
And
Like
then
it was
Dude,
well after it came out, and the following
that's his
yeah.
back
edition came out.
catalog. That's scary, dude. I'd be scared to see how many games you gotta play.
Oh, I'm sure there's
Uh,
quite a bit.
oh yeah.
Josh, what are you working on these days?
Currently second playthrough Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Okay.
I
Josh
I
gained some new information, and now he wants to play.
courtesy of Brendan here.
Yeah.
I mean, granted to him, this is probably. I mean, I don't know him as well as maybe I think I do, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this was one of his favorite game series, and it was because of him is the reason why I even dabbled in this game.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
back on the 360, I was just venturing around video games because I didn't know what to play because you had got me to get the 360,
Yep.
Dim, and I was only ever playing Halo, Skate, and Call of Duty,
Right.
and I had never really ever played any other console game besides God of War
Yeah.
on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
But I remember he was telling me about Mass Effect because he was currently playing Mass Effect 2 that had just came out. And
Yeah.
I saw him always playing it, so obviously I was like, what is that game? And he told me about it, and I went and got the first and second one, and dude, amazing, amazing games. And I'm still learning things from those games because of him till
Told you.
this day.
You're not the
Till
only
this
one.
day.
Hunter and I had the same discussions. Apparently, I am Mass Effect lore man. I don't know what to tell you.
I remember I tried playing it a little bit back in the day, and I think it was maybe 2 that I jumped in on, or maybe it was 3 when it came
Probably 2.
out.
I
But
mean, it might have been 3, but I doubt you jumped in on 1.
I jumped in too late in the series, and I was too lazy to go back and play the prior games,
I mean,
so it didn't grab my interest.
that's fair.
I tried
Yeah.
to get a lot of people to play Mass Effect, but a lot of people couldn't handle the
Yeah.
first one because it was very. I mean, if
The
you go
first one
back
is
and play
very
the,
different.
it's very rough to play.
Yeah.
It's compared to the second one,
Yeah.
like it's a night and day difference for sure.
I mean, it's worth it in the Legendary Edition, getting that
Yeah,
whole
well,
thing together.
because I think they almost matched the controls up to Mass Effect 2.
I
Just
mean,
to
they
get-
smoothed a lot of it out, and they took away a lot of the like weird hindrances. Because the original Mass Effect, you picked a class, and you could only use the guns that were assigned to your class. So, for example, I play Vanguard typically.
Yeah.
So, as a Vanguard in Mass Effect 1, you can only use a pistol and a shotgun, and
Okay.
that's it.
Oh,
But
That'd be
now in the Legendary Edition, they've corrected that, so you can carry all weapons. You just get extra bonuses for the pistol and the shotgun.
Okay.
oh. You know what? You know what's funny is I never knew that because I always had the assault rifle because I always
Yeah,
picked
you
soldier
picked a
class.
soldier because you're a boring human being.
Dude, it was one of the first games I played that wasn't a
It's
freaking first-person
it's
shooter.
unfair of me to say that. They actually ran a statistic saying soldier is like the most played class, which I just don't get it. Like I don't see how you look at all 6 of the classes that you can be. You're like, I'm just
But
gonna pick the guy
I
who has
was
all the guns. Like you can be a fucking space wizard. You can turn yourself into a cannonball and shoot around the map, just pingballing off of people.
in I
You
guess
just
in
want to pull
my
out a gun and shoot them.
in my defense, I never had played games, story-related games that had like that, like to where in my mind I'm thinking like, ooh, I want to try this or this. I gravitated to what I knew.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm
Yeah.
just goofing on you. Like I totally get it. I really do.
Yeah. And
And
so
again,
It
like
wa-
they put out a giant infographic thing like after Mass Effect Legendary released, like a month later or whatever, showing like all the stats of what everybody had done in the Legendary edition, and it's something like 40% of Shepherds straight up picked Soldier, which is like was the majority of them. I think the least
Yeah.
played class was like Sentinel, something like that.
It wasn't until Mass Effect 3 when you were able to uh, re use your currency to like change your perks and stuff inside your skill tree, right? That was the first time I
Oh.
ever played with like what do you call it? Biotic abilities. You know,
Well, you can get bonus abilities based on uh 2 and 3 you can get a bonus ability. Actually it might just be no, it is 2 and 3. You can get bonus abilities based on your squad mates if you unlock their ability or whatever. And then
Mhm.
in 1, 2, and 3 you can actually get special perks if you beat the game once and go back and play through it again. You can get a completely different bonus ability that is outside of your class. Just as long as you got the associated like achievement for it.
Yeah.
Which in the original one was difficult because those achievements sucked. But in the Legendary Edition, they're really easy to get because it's like, oh, you need to, you know, like hit 50 people with lift or whatever. So you just got to make sure you bring like, one of your biotic friends and have them lift enough people and you get the achievement. And then when you play through it again, it'll be like, hey, you can add lift to your character regardless of what class you are.
I
So I
think
guess got all that nuance.
yeah. I think we're definitely gonna have to spend a couple episodes or two talking about Mass Effect. I know that game is massive and so much to
Well,
it. No
be a
pun
good reason for
intended.
you to start it, Tim. You can do
Yeah,
it.
I
Maybe
know.
we can do an episode about it.
Yeah, I should. I should add that to my list of
Just
things I need to play.
I guess the best thing we could hope that comes out of these podcasts is discovering new games to play.
Yeah, more
which is-
knowledge.
Yeah.
True.
So, is there anything else you're working on, Josh, or are you just focused on Mass Effect right now?
I mean, I was trying. I have yet to complete Watch Dogs Legion, but
Yeah,
I'm such a creature of old habits, especially for like Mass Effect,
yeah,
that it takes this just things like me finding out that I didn't know about this, and
Right.
that's I'm back into Mass Effect for like a month.
right.
I mean, so
I don't. Yeah.
What about you, Tim? What are you playing?
For me, it's. I mean, I don't have any in-depth games like you guys playing. I love simulators, and that's like right now the one that I'm playing right now is Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. In fact, after we get done here, I'm probably gonna jump on that until my niece and nephew show up. And then I play Warzone. I do have Cyberpunk, but I'm waiting until I finally upgrade to next gen to play that.
What do you have it on?
The Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
I've got that on just the
console.
Xbox One,
Oh, okay.
and then when I get Series X, eventually I'll play it on there instead.
Yeah, I agree with that. You should definitely
Yeah, you should
Um,
not play it on a base
HOA.
Xbox One.
no. And I'm sure it's a lot more stable than when I played it. What has it been? Almost a year now since it's been out.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah, it's
you got lucky and didn't experience any issues,
I
but
crashed like twice, but no, I didn't really experience any hard issues in the game, which I thought I was very fortunate with.
sometimes it's just how it happens.
Yeah, but
Some people get lucky.
no, I'm just playing simulators. I love simulators. I think they're fun. I have
Nothing
hours
wrong with
upon
that.
hours in them. So
Yeah,
I
I know. I
think,
saw your Steam list.
yeah, I know. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us, for listening to us. We all really appreciate it. I know this episode was kind of a little bit of a scramble, kind of a little background on us. From here on out, it's going to be more actual video game specific. We're going to really break down games and really talk about video games and all sorts of games, from major titles to indie games that we've played. So we really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope you stick with us, and we look forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.